Hey guys, Madison Miller here with Magical Vacation Planner, here to talk to you today all about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opening up in Disneyland on May 31st and Walt Disney World August 29th. Just so you guys know, I'll be talking about the one that's opening up in Walt Disney World, but there's a lot of similarities that are going to go back and forth between the two. One thing that you do need to know that they've been plastering all over their websites as a huge disclaimer is that, of course, you have to have a valid theme park ticket to get into. It will be Hollywood Studios at Walt Disney World, and of course you have to have that anytime you go anywhere in Disney, so that's not news to most of you, but they also are saying that that does not guarantee you an entrance into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So they said that once they hit capacity, of course they're going to close off the entrance, and it's estimated that there's a rough capacity of 75,000 people at Hollywood Studios, which is where the one in Walt Disney World will be located. So that's a lot of people, but I know there's a lot more Star Wars fans that are going to be there on opening day, so that's up to you if you feel like braving the crowds or holding back a little bit to go. But to get started, there's a few other things that I wanted to go over. There's going to be no fast passes for Star Wars Land right now. This is a lot different than other lands that they've opened up. Star Wars Land, they aren't having any, and I believe that's because they're only opening one of the rides out of the two in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is going to be opening up on August 29th when it opens in Walt Disney World. Rise of the Resistance isn't opening till a later date, and they have not disclosed when that's happening, but we'll talk about that more later. But at Walt Disney World, Star Wars Land will be part of the Extra Magic Hours. So in case you don't know, Extra Magic Hours are when you stay at a Walt Disney World resort, you get to go to one park either an hour earlier or an hour later. So it'll open up early for you or stay late open for you. And this is a great way. I love going to the parks when they open early, and it's a great way to get a little bit, like they call it extra magic in for an hour. So it's great. I'm really excited that Star Wars Land is going to be a part of that, because if you're staying on Disney property, you would be able to rope drop Hollywood Studios and use that extra magic hour to get in there. It almost ensures you getting into the park if you're staying on property. If you're not, you have to wait till Hollywood Studios opens and then go in. But you figure you've had an hour of time lost that you haven't been able there to explore the land. So there's a lot of benefits with staying on site at Disney property. So I highly recommend to all of my travelers that if you do go to Disney, stay on site, because it's more than just you're close. There's a lot of extra perks with it. In Disneyland, this is about the only thing I'll talk about, is they're doing reservations to get into the park. So Disneyland has 3 resorts located on their property, and if you are staying in one of those 3 resorts, you will be able to make reservations to guarantee admittance into Star Wars Galaxy Edge, and they're releasing more information about that soon, but those reservations are only from May 31st to June 23rd, so it's just a short window that they're going to do that, and then I figure it's because their summer hours are going to open, and it's going to be a free-for-all to get in there. If you are going to go to Disneyland or you have a reservation during that time period and you are staying on property, make sure that you schedule for your reservation, or else you're going to be chancing it to get into Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So that's a great plus for the Disneyland people that are going. Okay, so now it's time to talk about the 2 attractions. Now, there isn't a ton of information on the Rise of the Resistance, which is the one that's opening later, which is to be expected. I feel like they're keeping it hush-hush until they absolutely can't. But the first one that we'll talk about is the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. And this attraction is going to be in conjunction with their app called Play Disney Parks. It's an app that you can download onto your phone. It's on iPhones and Android bases that you can get in their app store. And it's basically you get to dive into storytelling while waiting in line at the attractions and just walking around the park in general. A lot of the rides are starting to become a part of it in Walt Disney World, and it's just a great little add-on. I think it just adds another layer of magic to it, and it immerses you into the storytelling and the setting even more. So what I've seen is that you are going to actually train on how to fly the Millennium Falcon beforehand. So that's really cool that they're like doing that. And I always say, if you have kids that have a hard time waiting, definitely download this app, because it helps them like become engaged with what's happening. So, getting into the attraction, Disney is describing it as flying the Millennium Falcon on a thrilling, interactive smuggling mission. What you're actually going to be doing is you'll be sitting in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, and it sounds like they're going to give you 3 different roles. There's the role of the pilot, there's the role of the engineer, and then the role of the gunner. So, but they said that no matter what role you get, you're going to be getting an interactive experience with all of it. So I think it's really cool how they're giving everybody a role, but it sounds like everybody's going to have a part of doing it. It is considered a thrill ride with small drops, and they're saying that it is dark and loud and that you have to be 38 inches or taller to go in. So this is definitely not one of those boat rides that you can take your little ones on. This is one that you're going to have a height requirement, so just be mindful of that if you are taking little kids, that there is a height restriction to this one. The next one is the Rise of Resistance. This is the one that is not going to be open when it opens in Disney World on August 29th. So if you are dying to go when both are open, you're going to have to wait a little bit because this one is not open yet. Disney is describing this one as joining the Resistance in a climactic battle against the First Order. And they have said that they're not sure when this is opening yet, but they've been quoted that they're pushing the boundaries of innovation and technology with this. So I have a feeling that the longer we wait, the better it's going to be. I've heard from my little Disney birdies is that it's going to be on the level of like Flight of Passage as Avatar and just like greatness, and that's one of my favorite rides in Animal Kingdom and all of Disney parks. It just really like takes over every sense of your body while you're on this ride, so I'm really hoping that Rise of the Resistance does the same thing because they're making us wait so long for it. So for the dining in Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, there's going to be 2 restaurants and then multiple carts and stands. And the first one is Oga's Cantina, and this looks like it's going to be the biggest one of all of them. They haven't released a menu yet, but the sketches that I've seen of some stuff, it looks like it's going to have a really cool vibe to it. This will serve alcohol. This is the only one that has said it will so far, so this will probably be the first one that I stop at. The coolest thing about this one is they're actually having R3X DJ it there, so I feel like it's going to have a mellow yet fun interactive vibe to it. So I'm really excited to see what they do with that. The next one is called Docking Bay 7 Food and Cargo, and they have advertised this one as a quick service. And they did not put out a menu for this, but they did put a picture of like this bowl with some noodles and some shrimp in it and veggies, and just looking at the picture it made my mouth water. So I was really excited to hopefully try that one out when the time comes. So this is going to be an awesome place to stop as well. So the carts that they're going to have is, one of them's called the Milk Stand, and it says it's famous for the blue and green milk that they're going to be selling there. They haven't really said if it's just going to be milk or milkshakes, but from my feeling, I feel like it might be both, which might be nice in the hot Florida sun to have a milkshake to cool down. They're also going to have, it's called Ronto's Roosters, which has like grilled sausage, pork wraps, lots of different munchies to grab. So this is probably going to be a cart that you can just run, grab something real quick and hop in line, which is great. I'm also a huge fan of those. And then they have Katsaka's Kettle, which is going to be serving popcorn. It says sweet treat, so I'm assuming this is where you're going to get, of course, like your ice cream and the popcorn, hopefully cute little popcorn buckets with it. So those are going to be the little carts. They also have released images of these exclusive Coke bottles and Dasani water bottles for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So it's really, really cute. They kind of just look like little droids, which I think is adorable. So it's really cool how even in little things like that, they're including things that are appropriate for the setting that they've created. So lastly, the stuff I want to talk about is the shops that are going to be there. So of course, like me, anytime you go anywhere, you have to get a souvenir. There's a couple different types of shop. There's 2 that they're calling custom merchandise, which is really cool, but it's going to be a create your own lightsaber workshop, which is Savi's workshop, and then a place called Droid Depot, where you can build your own droid. So it's really cool. They have a lightsaber shop right now already in the parks, but it's really small, so I'm really excited to see how big they make this. I feel like they're going to make it a lot more interactive, maybe a little bit more customizable than they have in the past, just because now it's in a land dedicated to Star Wars. So I'm really excited to see what they do with those two shops. So the next one that they're advertising is called Black Spires Outfitters. This is where they said they're advertising it as apparel and accessories. So I have a feeling it's going to be similar to like what you would see in Mouse Gears in Epcot, or like the Emporium as you would see in Magic Kingdom. It's just going to have mostly like clothes and stuff like that, but lots of little different things. I'm sure you're going to see pins here, keychains, all of that good stuff. They also have a place called Doak on Doors Den of Antiques, and they just advertised it as a collection of antiques. I'm sure it's going to be little things that are like replicas from the movies, stuff like that, but they haven't really included a lot of information on it, so it's exciting to see what they're going to have there. And then a few of the other smaller shops that they've had, they kind of look like carts in the way that they're advertising them, is the First Order Cargo and the Resistance Supply, and it's kind of, they said pick your side, see which one you want. So that'll be cool to see. It'll be more tailored to whichever side you're on. And then the two other stores that they have, it's called Creature Stall, and they had a sketch of like a little cage with like a little animal in it, and it was really, really cute. So I'm sure that's going to be something that's more aimed at the younger kids. And then they have the Tordarian Toy Maker store, and of course that's going to have toys and lots of different action figures and stuff like that. So that's definitely one that's going to be aimed for the younger ones. So definitely a lot of stuff, whether you're an older Star Wars fan, a younger Star Wars fan, somewhere in between, or you're going with everybody, there's definitely going to be something for all of you to hit. So that's all the information that I have about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opening up on August 29th in Walt Disney World. Of course, if you have any questions about this land that I haven't included in the video, please email me, reach out to me on Facebook and Instagram at MVP Madison Miller. I'll include my email down below, madison.miller@magicalvacationplanner.com, and I'll be glad to answer any questions you have. I hope you guys have an awesome day, and like I said, if you have any questions, reach out to me. Talk to you guys soon.